Where is the poetry? Where is the poetry in a world that likes to breastfeed oppression? High-pitched. War is a high-pitched moan that begins in the core of everyone's twisting stomachs during what dinner? And the pebble stones outside, the crackling of normal life and blood beginning to disgorge from every orifice, bullet holes on every wall, on every mental image of this and that place, on the concept of harmony, until reality turns into a colander that only filters truth and no longer can hold the bullshit spewing from politicians' frothy mouths and lined pockets, let alone the news channel. The basic needs of shelter and comfort and love, bread and wine and good conscience remain. The inherited beliefs, the misconceptions, just like the ancestors, a need for water and purpose, love even. And by default, the taught concepts of territory and identity as the thread that keeps it together. But this moan keeps growing, itching in the ears and hearts of the brave whose youth allows them the courage to do something about it, while the rest of us nod our heads because we've taught our heart to remain silent. Across the sea, the world will continue to have winters and summers, New Years and recessions, reasons to always want to take bites of other hands, lands. What is it about humanity that makes it so parasitic, unable to see these testaments of life, claiming for their democratic right to exist without the possessive rights of capitalism? Pretending this moan hasn't turned into a deafening scream, which in no way silences it, softens it, makes it go away, just creates accomplices in a thick cloud of tear gas and dust that gets in the lungs and the spirit. I would keep telling you what I see, but as I poeticize about this monster that is war, apartheid occurs in Palestine, and in just 1 week, 200 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. At least 61 children. Explain to me, what do children have to do with war? Why are we always grieving children? In the last 2 weeks, Colombia, 43 people were victims of homicide committed by police. So many dreams assassinated. More than 2,000 cases of police brutality. Our words fled too. There are no poets safe from this. Poetry cannot be heard under the helicopters, tanks, excuses, gunshots, explosions, lies, automatic weapons. Numbness of war. Poets hate war. Poets have no magic powers. Poets are paralyzed like everyone else because they know what happens when they speak. If they make it out of the rubble, they end up having to tell their stories hundreds of miles away, as I do now, in little red notebooks with the same frustration, rage, blood boiling for freedom, and no tears left. Just paths of memory, forever traced in empty hands. So I say, raise your arms, my siblings. Do not be empty-handed like the rest of us. The pain will cease. The light will return. The only way to defy death is to live a life worth its weight in poetry. By consequence, Palestine, you are poetry. You are eternal. Colombia, your streets flow with poetry too. Poetry that will never be heard if you keep breastfeeding your oppressor. The world must hear your cries. It must. Want it. Where is the poetry in a world that likes to watch as we are extinguished? High-pitched. War is a high-pitched illness that first goes for them, but always comes after for us.